G'day, I'm Reg,
And I'm Sam.
and we are S.A.R. Adventures.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within calling. This heavy load got under your skin. All in, you got the white knuckles.
Okay, so before we head on down, I do want to let you know about some of the wildlife we get in our nature park here, with the first one being this northern mouse spider. Now we have seen less and less of these guys in more recent years, and we believe that's due to the introduction of cane toads to the region. So maybe if you're staying at a caravan park, you've seen a few cane toads jumping around the toilet blocks at night time, and I know that I personally used to get heaps in my backyard, and cane toads are actually killing out this guy. And that's very sad. It's quite detrimental to the species and to our environment. However, it's really not the worst thing for all of us visitors today, because the picture's also roughly to scale. So yeah, look, that's a pretty big spider, and they're also highly venomous. So let me tell you, I'm more than thankful. I've actually never seen one in the cave, and I would love to keep it that way. So hopefully we don't see any at all. Now the most common snake that we get down there, that I have seen many of, is this one right here, our brown tree snake. We also call them a banded tree snake, or just a bandy, and even though they are mildly venomous, their fangs are located right at the back of their mouth. So they have what we call rear-facing fangs. Now what this means for us larger creatures is that really they can only bite our fingers or our toes. So it is just one of those reasons that we are so strict on that closed-toed shoe rule, because we see them down in the cave every 2 or 3 days. Now I didn't see one down there yesterday. So today is the day. Just keep your eyes peeled. Even if we did see one though, the only way it could possibly bite you, this particular case, is if you quite literally grabbed the snake, opened its mouth, and proceeded to shove your fingers down its mouth. So don't do that, and you'll all be completely fine. Now our cave is also home to at least 6 different species of microbats, with the 2 most common ones being the ghost bat and the orange leaf-nosed bat. And ghost bats actually get their name from their translucent wings. So if you are lucky enough to see one down in our cave, be sure to take note of its wings, because you can see the light pass through them. They're really incredible creatures. And very true to that microbat name is this little guy. The orange leaf-nosed bat, even with its full wingspan, is only the size of a large dragonfly. Teeny tiny, and they fly through cracks in the rocks and even our heads sometimes incredibly fast. However, if you can believe it, it's a little bit cold for them, so most of these bats will be way down the back of the cave over that water table where we're less likely to see them. However, Ben and I did see a few this morning during the cave check, so just for that reason, I'm going to ask you guys to please refrain from taking flash photos. Now our cave today is one way in, one way out, and it's also a hot cave. So you won't need those jumpers, jackets, even your bags, backpacks, hats, sunnies, anything extra. I strongly recommend you take it all off. Now as I said, it's one way in, one way out, not only for us, but also for the airflow. So air comes through that narrow entrance point, goes down the cave, and actually gets heated up by the surrounding limestone and the water table up the back that runs hot. So it's not so much the heat you'll start to feel, as a gradual build up in humidity the further we go. So as I said, don't get used to this cool temperature, because it does not last very long.
Holding on a tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside. Heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, right.
I do like this formation. The really little microbats.
You all baby?
Yep.
Oh, wow. The crystal in there.
That's cool. And it wasn't until the Second World War, when we had soldiers stationed to what we now know as the Tyndall RAF base just up the road, that the cave received its first name change. And it was nicknamed 16 Mile, because back then it was known as 16 Mile Camp. Now some of these soldiers had heard about this place, they thought they'd come down, blow off some steam. And many years later, when our contractors came through, building this boardwalk we're standing on, they pulled out lots of things left behind by the soldiers. VB bottles, beer cans, tobacco tins, tuna tins, all things indicating that this was quite the rave cave back in the day. But as well as that, these fellows also thought it would be clever to do some target practice inside of the cave. So, right up here, quite a few stalactites that they've actually shot off, for lack of a better word. Quite a few more along this side as well. And apparently we had the hulking roll in the army because they managed to break this column. Not forgetting it's solid rock and would have been incredibly difficult to do so. Now you guys can all imagine the sound of a 303 going off in here. Sound of a gun going off, it would have been deafening. And it is actually a rumour that the soldiers were trying to blow their own eardrums to receive medical discharge from the army. Now, although that was technically never proven, it's not the silliest of ideas considering the circumstances, and there were actually a handful of soldiers who did come back from this region deaf. So maybe that was their plan after all.
Moments pass, make this one count. Untied, you're so good at dragging yourself down.
Alrighty guys, so right up here on the ceiling behind you, you might notice this really weird ashy staining. And the ashy staining is actually just from ash. So the Jawa people have performed hundreds of years of cultural burns on the land above us, and even our government here in the Northern Territory performs these land burns. It just helps to rejuvenate the land and to prevent against big bushfires. Now that massive accumulation of ash there we go. That was a little microbat. Having a bit of a party.
Blink and it's gone.
Yeah, very, very fast. That's why I haven't been able to take a good picture of those little ones, because they're just lightning fast.
Wow.
You got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feels bottled up inside, heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die.
No, so while this might be the end of the road for us, it's by no means the end of the cave. The cave actually keeps going for another 500 metres or so.
Oh, wow.
But also just past this point, instead of it being flat, it goes like this. It's no longer a very good place to walk through. And also just over that first little rock, it starts to feel like it's 40 degrees. I know I went up there the other day because it's also the only place you can get radio reception in the cave. For some weird reason. And the heat just hits you in the face all of a sudden, 40 degrees straight away. Now right over that water table down the back of the cave, humidity is also sitting at around 95%. So it's simply unbearable. And instead of the squeezes we've gone through so far, which really aren't too bad, you get to crawl points, where you're pushing your shoulders together, sliding through your stomach for spaces of up to 100 metres. Not fun?
No.
I'm into caves and even I don't think that sounds very fun. But that's also where the bats are. So a majority of the bats are way down that cave, so I've got plenty of room to stay happy, healthy, breed. We want to leave them alone, give them plenty of space to do that.
Around.
this is Bitter Springs, which is about 100 k's south of Katherine. I did read that in 2017 Bitter Springs was closed because a guy was bitten by a freshie.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 that I read.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. When it all breaks down, I'll wait for you right here. And I swear that we got nothing to fear. It's a miracle that you and I are finally here. I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about. The last one I think about.
What if you can't stop yourself and you go that way?
Oh, looks like it gets a bit shallow, so
Oh, okay. At least there's steps.
now we're at Materanka.
Materanka.
Materanka Spring. Thermal pool.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me, take me back we back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. No mistake ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance our way to church on Sundays. Mama set the pace. Daydream